This is what it's come to, huh? You were the only living soul I can tell my secret to. I painted every single one of them. Every big eye. Me. And no one will ever know but you.
A great film.
Thank you.
And an amazing story. And one that you watch and you just think, why is this not better known? So were you aware of the story before the script came to you?
Well, yes, it was weird because I was certainly aware of the artwork because I grew up with it. You know, it was like part of the suburban art. You know, it was people's living rooms, offices. So I very distinctly remember it because there was something, I couldn't say as I liked it, it was just something very weird and powerful. And I was fascinated by the polarization of people's responses. Some people loved it, had it hanging in their houses. Some people wanted to rip it off the walls, you know, and people dismissed it as kitsch. At the same time, it had a huge, you know, it was hugely popular when I was younger. So, you know, you can't dismiss it as just nothing, you know. I mean, there's the quote at the beginning with Orwell saying, if it was bad, so many people wouldn't like it. And there's a weird, interesting thing about that. And so, but it wasn't until like the mid-1990s when a friend of mine told me the story of the Keens, and I know it was documented in newspapers, but it was sort of flew under the radar. And up until like mid-1990s, I was, like everybody else, thought Walter was the painter. And when I learned the story, then I ended up going to San Francisco, meeting Margaret, and I commissioned a painting from her. And then it was even years later that I found out that Scott and Larry had writing a script on it. So it was kind of parallel universes coming together. And I'd worked with Scott and Larry on Ed Wood, so you know, I knew that this was their kind of thing. They love taking these real people and kind of, you know, telling these marginalized people's story.
You're gonna love this stuff.
Why are their eyes so big?
The eyes are the windows of the soul.
That's why I paint them so big. I've always done it that way.
Why are you lying?
Sadly, people don't buy lady art.
The painting says keen. I'm keen, you're keen.
Did you find him a sympathetic character?
Well, sympathetic. My opinion is absolutely not called for. I just have to do it. I could be of the opposite conviction. You know, I could find him despicable or praiseworthy, or it. You know, I just have to find what makes a story work through the character, because that's what drama in my eyes is, and that's what my job in this whole constellation would be. Make it work, so that you get to ask all these questions, and I apologize for my answers, but it's really about you. You know, Harrison Ford, I recently read this, Harrison Ford said, my job as an actor is not to show you how close I am to the character. My job as an actor is to show you how close you are to the character. Now that's far more interesting. Maybe not for me personally, but for you as a member of the audience. So that's why I love stories like Big Eyes.
Sadly, people don't buy lady art.
The painting says keen. I'm keen, you're keen.
Smile.
We're sold out.
They adore you, Big Eyes.
He sells paintings, and he sells pictures of the paintings, and he sells postcards of pictures of the paintings.
Good God, it's a movement.
So, are you flipping for all this?
Honestly, I can't believe I live here.
I remember when Mama painted that.
You're confused. I painted that.
Characters like Walter are fabulous for us to consider that magical if. What if we were in his shoes? What would we do? How would we feel? How would we relate? Same thing with Margaret. Now you choose. You get to choose the side. You are asked to identify, and then defend your position in a way, and that's in my eyes my big eyes in this case what makes for great drama.
Well, this is a smaller scale film for you after the last few, which have been sort of very effects laden, and so was it a desire to go back to kind of your roots in a way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I was just going to produce it, but after a while, just like I've been making these kind of, so it was nice to do a movie where you know, you didn't have to hear about a McDonald's tie-in and, you know, franchise words and things like that. It was just something where we had low budget, move quickly and just deal with the actors. And so it was very cathartic for me just on the process of making the film. And yeah, it kind of reconnected you to why you like making films.
You don't even know what the truth is!
So, who is the artist?